Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy and I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I'm going to talk to you about another film that I believe is severely underrated. It's getting popular now. I mean, there was just a readaptation into a not feature length film, to a television show. They had the guy who played, I don't remember his name, from freaking Titans, but I'm talking about the 2012 Jack Reacher film with Tom Cruise, where he plays a ex-military, I believe, investigator who comes in to basically investigate the mysterious murder of random people that was sniped by one of his own men, and he believes that he is innocent. And first off, I'm gonna say this is one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. Um, a lot better than the god awful second film. Oh my god, that second film was awful. And I think this is one of the best action films in the 2010s. And it's kind of like an old throwback, old school, like action thriller movie that you don't normally get now these days. And that's probably why I really loved this movie. That it felt very old school. It didn't rely on CGI. It didn't rely on the extent, just exaggerating action sequences. It was built mostly on tension. Christopher McCourtney, who's been partnering up with Tom Cruise, directing the last three Mission Impossible movies. He directed probably one of the best action movies I've seen in a long time. The Whatever the last Mission Impossible film was before this one. Um, I can tell you right now, he's probably one of my favorite action filmmakers now of during this time in the last 20 years, second to Anton Fuqua, uh, Quentin Tarantino, and so forth. This guy knows how to do action, but he knows how to build up suspense leading up to the action. Rarely do you get that. There was actually an interesting video I remember watching. It was something Brian De Palma said is why action films have been lacking or hasn't really been interesting, to say the least. And his argument was he believes that nowadays action movies don't show everything. And I believe what he means by that by showing everything, you're slowly building up to the action that leads to the action itself. And you're using suspense. Nowadays, when I see action, the action just happens without any build up to it. And hopefully you're just being fed action and hopefully not get bored from the movie. And the action becomes exaggerant to whatever exposition that gets you fed up to the action just for you to be entertained by the action. This film does not do that. Jack Reacher, this is what I really loved about this film, that it's a mystery film. It's a mystery film. You have Jack Reacher literally investigating. It also feels like it could be like a Batman film. Dude, Christopher McCourtney, he would be awesome directing a Batman film. You see this character literally investigating clues, suckering people out from information, and figuring out, okay, this was a trap. Who are you? Who hired you? I'm gonna figure this out. You see that with this character, Jack Reacher. You see him encountering these flaws and in trying to figure out what to do in the moment of how he's going to proceed on to the next phase of the story. You see that. You see him figuring shit out. Clues to clues. I've noticed when certain films, especially where they'll do a joke, they'll do something in the film, and then automatically they'll figure something out related to the story that has really no build up to it. This film constantly built up its story, and I loved it. I loved how it constantly keeps building up. And performances, I'm not gonna really get into performances. We all know everybody was great in here. Tom Cruise owned this role. I know there was a controversy when this film first came out regarding to Tom Cruise's height. Height doesn't matter. He owned the role. He was intimidating as this character. I have not seen the show. Every action scene in this film kept getting better and better and better. Man, this is one of my favorite action movies. And I actually liked it that the film didn't rely on it. It relied on tension. And I think I'm drawn to movies that rely more on tension than just having action fed to you. And I can provide more examples, and I'm not gonna do that. Like I could provide examples if you see this video, I could recommend a film that's an example that builds up with suspense. Maybe not exactly as this filmmaker here, but it builds up using suspense. It's done so with the original Mission Impossible film. That's why I really love that film. Honestly, guys, this is to me a flawless action movie. I really love this film. I really love Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise's 2012 film. It was actually one of my favorite films when it came out in 2012, and I thought the uniqueness behind this film was that I feel like there was passion and care and mystery with the story. Again, reminds me of the Batman. It just builds up. It slowly builds up on the story, expands on it. Like there's so much to get into, and the more information a character figure like learns, you're actually terrified for that character. Twists and turns, anything. I love it. I love this movie. This movie was awesome. Jack Reacher. Have you seen it? Comment in the section below what you thought about it. Let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.